Hey everyone, welcome. Thanks for joining my session today. We're going to be going over CI/CD patterns, and it's going to be a really quick lightning talk. So we'll just get into it. My name is Tiffany Jakja. I'm a technical evangelist at Harness, and I think a lot of us are here today because we've all done something within our CI/CD process where we kind of regretted it, right? Maybe you pushed code that you shouldn't have, dropped a production database, maybe managed to cause an incident. I think a lot of people can relate to this topic of software delivery because there are just so many aspects built into it. And there are a lot of ways that we can make mistakes or really introduce risk into our process for software delivery. So, some of the challenges that we typically see in a CI CD process or with people who are working to build CI/CD is that there's a high level of maintenance and a high cost associated with integrating new changes. So maybe it means that every time you go to deploy, you have to change all of the scripts that you have to go and do CI/CD. It can be kind of challenging, and having brittle or snowflake type pipelines can be a real challenge. Another challenge is you typically have developers doing operations work, and that's where they're spending a lot of their time. Maybe they're managing incidents, maybe they're trying to track certain metrics, and they're more concerned with their environments than they are with their actual applications. And what can happen is you can have slow or typically blocked development teams because they can't work on specific feature implementation work because they're so concerned about getting something out uh, uh, for their customers and getting something deployed into an environment. So this can have a lot of impacts, right? For one thing, you could have delayed business value, which is sort of at the heart of DevOps and at the heart of what we're trying to do when we talk about continuous integration and continuous delivery, right? Is this accelerated business value and accelerated time to market. And really additionally is like the toil of having to manage all of these things, right? Shift left culture where people have to manage so many aspects. Today, if they're worried about how to deliver something, it's just like another thing on their plate, and it just adds to toil. And so it can really deter your team's productivity and happiness. And we know that that can also affect like the work that we do, the quality of work that we do, and the innovation that we bring to the table, right? So that brings us to the topic in the heart of this lightning talk, right? Is what are the practices that exist today? And I narrowed it down to three things. So it all starts with M, so it's like 3M, but not this kind of not this kind of 3M. We're actually going to share three M's for practices that you can use in your CI/CD pipeline, and they actually range from beginner to advanced level. So, you can take a lot of these tips and these patterns and kind of extend them to mature your process if you already have one. Or you can just simply start off kind of at an easy level where you can, at a minimum, grab a couple of these aspects and build on top of that. So it's really meant for anyone who's working on their CI/CD process, whether you're starting out or you already have something and you're just looking to make it better. So the first M is to measure, right? It's to understand the pain points because it doesn't make sense to spend time on rebuilding your CI process if you don't have a pain point there, or rebuilding your CD process if you don't have any pain points with in terms of getting things out in a speedy manner. So it's really just important to figure out, well, first of all, where is my pain point? Is it with CI where I am having a hard time building? Is it with CD where I'm having a hard time deploying, or is it kind of like in between, right, where I don't have enough tests? So it's kind of trying to figure out like where in the spectrum do you lie where you have the most pain points. And then it's to think about, well, on top of that, once I can get like some type of delivery, am I most concerned about speed, security, or compliance, right? These are different things, and you could prioritize one or two of them to really help you pick out like what solution works the best for you and what future work needs to be done in terms of building a better pipeline. And then lastly, you can't improve what you can't measure. So think about the different metrics that you can gather that are related to your deployments and related to your CD process. So think about the 4 key accelerate metrics, which are shared in a book called Accelerate, where we talk about mean time to recover, lead time, deployment frequency, and change failure rate. Those are all 4 metrics that you kind of want to think about, right? We've shared them. I'm sure other people will share them in sessions and talk about these 4 metrics, but that's just starting to get a good idea about the current state that you're in and how you can improve on that. And that opens the room up for discussion too. So you can bring in your teams and figure out, well, why do we have a poor change failure rate, etc. And so once we can measure, we can kind of minimize some of the aspects around the development workflows. So M2 is to minimize. So just think that before you go to deploy, you need to make feature development as easy and as fast as possible, right? So there are a couple things that you can do here. So one of the biggest things is that you want to minimize branching, because branching can be really complicated, especially if you have a bigger team that's all contributing feature work. Someone has to maintain those different branches and merge them at the end of the day. So it can be really difficult to work with multiple branches. So really think about how many branches you have and what is the process for you to get into a CI/CD pipeline, right? Because if you go to commit code, then you have to think, well, how hard is it for me to commit to a mainline branch? So try to take it in steps and try to think about, well, does my branching strategy make sense? And the reason why some people have a lot of branches is because maybe they want to maintain specific versions of their application. Maybe, don't do that manually, but do that within your pipeline. So that's just some suggestions there. And then secondly, you want to minimize the maintenance that you have to do on scripts and on end-to-end tests. So there's actually like a pyramid for different types of tests. You have your unit tests, your integration tests, and your end-to-end tests. And the further up you go on that pyramid, the more expensive it costs to create and maintain and run those tests. So at the lowest level, you have unit tests, and those are the easiest to maintain and change. So think about minimizing the more expensive tests and trying to figure out, well, how do I maximize on my unit tests and really make the most out of that? And thirdly, you want to minimize the builds in your pipeline. So in a CI pipeline, if you build multiple times, you can actually have multiple artifacts with very minute changes. So what you want to do is, when you have a CI pipeline, is build once in that pipeline and promote it across environments. Don't build an application, do some work, and then build it again within the same pipeline. Try to minimize that so you don't have too much inconsistencies between different artifacts that you have versioned. And 3M, the third M, is to make pipelines the only way to deploy. So you want to make some changes and really think about how you can make default CI/CD pipelines. Make CI/CD the default way to deploy. Don't make manual changes. Think about how you can make CI/CD pipelines easy for any application team, any development team to just pick up and go and deploy. And maybe if they do need specific configurations or additional modifications to their CI/CD pipeline, maybe that's when they can speak to the team that owns the CI/CD processes. But otherwise, like in most cases, people just use a standard CI/CD pipeline process that's built for their organization and that works across multiple teams. So think about making pipelines just repeatable and scalable across an organization so that anyone can do a deployment, not just the people who own CI/CD. Also think about how to make tests run fast, early, and clean within your pipeline. So like I was saying before, the earlier you run your tests, the faster you can detect changes that need to be made or broken fixes that need to happen before they get to your customer. So think about running those cheap tests early and fast, and then and of course you can add rigor across your additional steps, but try to think about how you can make those tests run faster and easily within your pipeline. Sometimes people will also think about how they can spin up and spin down their environments, because when they run tests, they need to have a new and clean environment that hasn't been tampered with. So just try to think about that. That might be something you are running into, like, oh, okay, this test runs all right if it runs by itself, but then when it runs in a test suite, it doesn't necessarily work. I think we're seeing a lot of customers kind of face that. So just think about how you're running your tests and how you can use continuous delivery to really provision and manage your environments, because not every environment is very agnostic to changes or you running your tests. So just something to think about. And then lastly is to make parity between your stage environment and your production environment. I think it's really important to be able to replicate production issues. So try to keep your non-production environment, or your the last stage environment before you reach production, very similar to your production environment. You just want a similar production like environment to replicate your changes and really understand like what's going on. I think there are a lot of different release strategies and deployment strategies that you can use to help build like a parity. But your CD pipeline should kind of help standardize how you deploy to your stage environment, and try to keep it similar to how you deploy to your production environment. If there are changes, you can have a hard time finding issues or rolling back, even if you don't really understand that environment. And also, like, the higher the environment you go, like if you go into a production environment, the less people will understand about it. I think the environments that people can access, like their local machines or the development environments, those are the environments that people understand the most, right? They understand how their application works in it because they've done the testing, they've done all the work, and they have whole teams taking a look at it, multiple eyes, right? But then when you reach a production environment, that may not be the case. So just something to think about. And lastly, that's those are my 3 tips. So I hope that can help you. I kind of like how the CD Foundation logo looks like an infinity sign. It reminds me of how you can enable DevOps life cycles and really make applications sustainable, ready to deploy, and something that delights customers. So I hope that talk really helped your CI/CD pipelines. We shared 3 main principles that you can utilize to make your CI/CD pipelines better. I hope that this was really helpful. Thanks for joining the session. See you around.